I am Baba Tando. Hello, good afternoon. Let's talk sports right here, right now. And the biggest news today is that the Ghana Football Association's president, Kwesi Nyantekyi, has become the first Ghanaian to serve on world football's powerful cabinet after securing one of 2 FIFA Council slots available. Now, in a close race, Kwesi Nyantekyi finished second with 31 votes, only one more than his close competitor, Ahmad of Madagascar, who had 30 votes to get into the FIFA Council earlier today in Cairo. Now, joining me in studio is Joy Sports Ridwan Ibrahim Asante. Hi, Ridwan. The victory is big, but then what does it mean for Ghana and Africa as a whole?
It means a lot. It's just like how Ghana will savor Kofi Annan's selection as UN Secretary General. I mean, you can't put a finger to, specific, cases and say maybe there will be development in, the hospitality industry or the petroleum industry. But then it's big, it's unquantifiable. We can't put, figures to it. But then his position as a member, and remember that this the newly constituted, or should I say, rebranded, top association or council for FIFA. For FIFA. So, being the FIFA Council, he gets to dine with the big boys. He's meeting those who matter in world football. If Kwesi Nyantekyi was talking to only people on the continent, he's now dealing with the representative from CONCACAF. He's dealing with almost AFC. Everybody, AFC. So it's a knowledge sharing platform, and he gets the biggest. Remember, fancy yourself being on a WhatsApp platform with Gianni Infantino, all that's sharing big. Ideas really on one WhatsApp platform. I mean, ideas coming in. So if it's about medics, he's going to push for a lot of FIFA training. FIFA has got a lot of programs. Remember that Infantino has promised to pump a lot of money into infrastructure. So he can fight and make a case out, that my country, or even in Africa, or in West Africa, I think Ghana is well positioned, and that's how come people are fighting to be there. If there are no benefits, I don't think people will fight, to be there to represent the continent, and also more importantly, where you are coming from. Because if he wasn't GFA president, he wouldn't have gotten that far. Exactly. So he's definitely going to help, us, develop in areas. But I don't think it's like we can say he's going to build stadia. No. His position does not guarantee Ghana a World Cup slot. Okay. It doesn't mean we're going to win the Africa Cup of Nations. Obviously. But then we're going to get the basics right in achieving the bigger objectives. Okay.
Now, talking about this development, Africa now has 7 members on the council, and that's initially it used to be 5 when it was the executive committee. Now, the 7th membership would represent about 19% of the entire 37 members on the council. Now, tell me, do you think Africa will still struggle when it comes to having certain decisions to be taken in its favor when it comes to voting?
I wouldn't say Kwesi is a genius, and the numbers also, like you did say, Africa should make a strong case. They should get people who are going to bring in fresh ideas, convince, the football people that we also deserve to get something. I mean, not to say Omari Constant from DR Congo didn't do a good job, not to say Tarek, Bushimau did not do a good job. Even Lydia Insekra from Burundi didn't do a good job. Or, Abu, Hasni from Egypt. He's been there since 2002 on the executive committee. I'm not saying they've not done, well, but when you have somebody who is going to give, the rest of the team a different perspective to issues, maybe then Africa can benefit. Kwesi's inclusion, likewise that of Kamara, might help.
Okay, so we're going to get onto the phone lines right now and speak to Vice President of the Ghana Football Association, George Efriye. He was actually in Egypt to cast his vote, and obviously we know when he was going to go on we know where his vote was actually going to go for his boss, Kwesi Nyantekyi. So let's just hear what George Efriye had to say.
First of all, let me give thanks to the Almighty for bringing us this far. It wasn't easy. I mean, for a couple of months now, when Mr. Kwesi Nyantekyi declared his intention to contest this position, he has toured many parts of Africa, campaigning through his colleagues to make sure that he gets one of the 2 slots allotted to CAF. It's not been easy. I've been here a couple of occasions, and my other colleagues were also here. And just last night, we arrived here to make sure that we round up the preparation and also to make sure that we solicit for more votes and make sure he could sail through. This morning, we all went through to the conference hall. Other amendments, as part of the agenda, we had amendments preceding the votes. And so that was the early part of the Congress. And finally, the last item on the agenda was the election. And I'm proud to this election. It's about 7 candidates from Sudan, Niger, Seychelles, Guinea, Niger, Senegal, and Madagascar. And so, and then, Senegal, I've mentioned Senegal. And so one of them couldn't make it to the last six. And then the first vice president of CAF withdrew his bid, and he was left with 5. We're expecting this morning, we're expecting one person to step down, and that also happened. That's the FA president for Niger. So we were left with Augustin Senghor of Senegal, Kabele from Guinea, second vice president of CAF, Mr. Kwesi Nyantekyi, and then Ahmad from Madagascar. So it was a split contest between these 4, and at the end of the voting, Mr. Kwesi Nyantekyi came second, and he had 31 votes, and Mr. Kabele had 37 votes. So that was what happened today.
This obviously is victory for Mr. Nyantekyi and also victory for the Ghana Football Association and Ghana as well. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
I have said that earlier, that once you have a Ghanaian ascending to the high office of a FIFA Executive Council, I think that we must all support him, and then, because it will not be victory for Mr. Nyantekyi. Yes, it's victory for him as a person.
All right, so that was Vice President of the GFA, George Efriye. Now, Redwan, I'm sure you've been hearing talks coming from certain members of the football fraternity calling for Kwesi Nyantekyi to step down as FA president if indeed he gets the nod to get onto the FIFA Council, which he has. What do you make of these comments?
I think it's because he suffered a lot of abuses and he's been criticized, enough, and so they feel, if you've gotten to that level, why don't you step down? But he's only there for 5 months.
Exactly.
And on March 17 in Addis Ababa,
his tenure comes to an end.
He has to, fight to renew his mandate in another election, separate election. Maybe they might not have a lot of people, going in for the polls. It could be straightforward. CAF might say they just took, charge, so let's allow them to go unopposed. That's for the group, is for the association to decide. But it's too early for Kwesi Nyantekyi to step down. If he has a thick skin, he's still unfinished business. You know what it means, the interpretation. You got FIFA job, so what? You want to leave? It's
not forever.
It's not forever, so you want to leave the Ghana job? No, he still must carry on. He's not a politician who will not campaign after after the election. After the election, campaigning must go on.
Exactly.
So it starts. He has to still serve Ghana football. I don't think he must leave because he has a thick skin. He can continue and he can do his job.
Redwan, my final question to you. We are running out of time. What do you expect Kwesi Nyantekyi to do from September 17 to March 16, 2017?
His first meeting is next month on October 13. He should be in Zurich. This is what we expect him to do. He's not going to guarantee us World Cup tickets. He's not going to guarantee us a Nations Cup by being there. What he can bring to us is ensure that the infrastructure is an issue. So he should lobby, get more of our officials into places that can help football grow. When football grows, then any other thing is achievable.
Okay, so thank you very much, Redwan Ibrahim Asante. You can find more on this story on the sports page of myjoyonline.com. We're also tweeting live on the handle Joy Sports GH. On Facebook, we're there at Joy Sports. My name is Baba Tando. Good afternoon.